That's what I say. I've come up with some of the best ideas just going through ChatGPT and saying, okay, this is what I'm really good at, and this is what I have a vision of what I want to do. Let's strategize, and it thing just spits it out, and you like, whoa.
I wrote down what you just said too.
Well,
Okay.
and I put it in the chat. I was going to say,
I
so
wrote it down, so I put it in the watch party too.
I put it in the chat and I put it in the watch party chat. I got a comment also that I want to mention from the watch party. Ms. Lisa said, prompting is key. Always tell ChatGPT as an expert in ... insert your whatever that looks like.
Yep.
So I think that's another really good suggestion that kind of piggybacks on what you just said.
Prompting is so key. Let me just say this. I did a myself and three other AI experts that we do, African American women, and we did we spoke at a conference for young Black teens, and we asked them, how many of y'all want to be entrepreneurs? And at first, when we first got, they were kind of uninterested in what was going on. It was like a good 100 teens, mostly boys, Black boys, and or Black young men, shall I say. And they were, on their phones doing whatever. And we asked them, how many of y'all want to be entrepreneurs? And a lot of them raised their hand, probably most of them. And we said to them, okay, so how you going to do it? What you going to do? And they didn't really have answers. So we said to them, pull your phones out, because we know you got them because you had them just a minute ago. Everybody logged in, and we want you to download ChatGPT right now. And they did. All of the boys, they was then, they was logging, downloading ChatGPT. And I said the same thing to them. I said, I want you to say, and they were high school. And I said to them, tell ChatGPT I'm a high school student and I am 17 years old. I have limited amount of money, but I want to start a business that's blah, 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 right? And I said, fill that in. And then I said, tell ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to give you one thing you can do today that costs nothing to get your business going. And you should have saw them. They were like in there like, okay. And then they hit, and then light bulbs came on. Okay. And they were, and by the end of the presentation, because we told them, just call me auntie, by the end of the presentation, they were coming up. So, auntie, it said do blah, blah. How do I do? And see, who, even if it's just one young man that left that event saying, I can start this business. We accomplished something. And so I'm just encouraging those who are listening, your listeners right now, get these young people involved in AI. Because by the time they get into the workforce, that's all it's going to be. And
thank you.
Help them to learn how to prompt. And those of you who are in AI right now, I want y'all to learn how to prompt. Don't ask me.
Say it again. Say it again. Please. Please say it again.
Look at the glory hand, y'all.
Do not say, okay, that's nice what you did. Can I get your prompts? No, you can't. You cannot get my prompts. You can, however, get my prompt formula. I will give you my prompt formula. And I promise you it'll take you further than if I give you my prompt.
Yes.
I feel like, thank you. Go, Uriah, go.
I think we're about to say the exact same thing. Like,
yep.
To us, you're preaching to the choir, but this is exactly what we message, because, like you said, we're pretty much 2 full years into this AI era, like the popular trending era of it. If we just talk about it specifically for image creation and our community, like since AI for the culture came out, if we say that is the starting point, we're 2 years in. You need to know how to prompt, or you need to be able to ask a question better than prompt, please. Like, you got to be like, okay, how did you get this aspect of the prompt? Like, how did you make this part of that come out? because that's really the question. If you're asking for the entire prompt, then it's like you're not trying. You know, you're
Yeah.
where are you at? We're not at the same level, and like Lewis just mentioned earlier, like we're moving into a different phase where it's like we can't stay back and continue to just provide the prompt. We're 2 years in, you know, so it's like at one point when do you take this serious and go to the next level? Because it's like it's no longer just for entertainment. It's not just experimentation. People are taking it to the next level and actually making moves out of it. Like you mentioned, you saw that one image, you made a move, boom, you had a vision, you're making moves with it. And I'm not saying everybody has to operate at that level, but if you're in the same space as we are, like I'm not talking to the people that just started like yesterday, but more so the people that's been doing it pretty much from the beginning. And it's like, wait, you're still not getting it? Like, I'm just confused. Lewis put on an entire clinic last year. We got the guides in the group, and we go step by step. So it's like, how do we get our people to the next level without I don't
enabling.
know. Yeah, without enabling, right? So, and maybe that's just the nature of the beast. Like you said, history repeats itself. The people you hang out with now isn't the same people you hung out with when you were teenagers, right? Some
Yeah.
people grow with you, and some people just
Yeah.
don't.
You, something. The thing is you have to want to grow in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to have a vision, for it. So, like, sometimes I get lazy. Sometimes I get lazy too. Sometimes I get uninspired. It happens. Sometimes, I recycle stuff, and do whatever. But I do that for a reason. But if you have a vision where it's like, okay, I'm gonna take this can be a career changing thing for me or whatever, you will want to learn more. You become a student of your industry when you are really, really vested in it. If this is something where you think, oh, I'm gonna do this real quick and I'm gonna make a lot of money, that's not gonna happen. um you know I, I tell those who take my courses that they'll get frustrated and they'll say, "Oh my God, I've been prompting for a week now, and I can't get my stuff to look like I really wanted to." And I'm like, "Welcome to the club." There's some time where I'm prompting for like a good 2 weeks trying to get one certain look. You just got to stick to it. You have to stick to it, and you have to just do it, but have a vision in terms of what it is you want to do with all of this, because it's possible. Whatever you want to do is possible. The field is wide open right now when it comes to photorealistic images and AI
Mhm.
film. I'm not
Especially for
talking
people.
about. Yeah, and listen, not knocking again. I'm not knocking anybody's niche, okay? But I will say the GPT niche is crowded. It is very crowded, and a lot of people are doing that, and doing the images with Dolly, and then getting the GPTs and selling the GPTs, and that's fine. If that works for you, that is fine. But if you want to go to the next level, you need to start doing film, photorealistic images, because I tell you, I do everything for a reason. I have been asked to do B-roll for documentaries. You know, the Black History stuff is my practice. It's me practicing how I can do B-roll for documentaries and make it look, you know, and make it look realistic. You know, there's so many different ways you can take this. There's so many different ways, and so you got to have vision.
To add on to that, it's use it in your industry. Like you don't have to get out like you said, you're a realtor. I'm in business. I'm an accountant, and I use it in my business in photography. It doesn't like you don't have to go outside of your realm. Use it as a tool to level
Yep.
yourself up in your industry. Like if you were looking for a conference, what's your industry, and put AI conference.